Welcome to Trading Lounge. In step one, we looked at creating a portfolio and then funding that portfolio with demo funds from this managed account. So in this video, I just want to take a little quick tour of this homepage that we're looking at. And then our main point here is looking at taking trade recommendations. Okay, so just before we do that, we've got this space down here. So when you have do trades, you'll have a trade record here and a transaction record here in this space down here. There's also a stock screener here as well, so with all different sorts of functionality through here and filters and so on through here. So yeah, that's all good at that point. I'll just come back to the stock check here for a moment, and so that's that stock screener there. Also, one of the things that you can do as well, so with these trades that we're putting out, we're just going to be doing it as simple as possible to start with, and that means that we're going to have trades depending on what we're looking at over here. So we'll have trades, trends, and hodl in terms of Bitcoin. But in terms of trades, when we talk about trades, we're talking about trades that will last basically 2 weeks, like swing trades, getting from wave 4 to wave 5 or wave 2 to wave 3 and that sort of thing. And then there's going to be trends, which is obviously longer term trades. But our trading strategies here, we're just going to put them here in very simple terms as short term, medium term, and long term. Now, in this section here, when you set up a portfolio, you can just create your own strategies here. So a little bit later on down the track, we'll be doing robo trades. Now, that will be this folks that have been with TradingLounge a while will understand what that means as such. Okay, but we'll get into that a bit later. So we'll be doing robo trades and switch trades, but this is where you can add your own strategies. You might have a particular style of doing something in that regard. So we've got whatever strategy it is here, because later on this particular this portfolio that we're looking at, I still need to do a lot of work on it, but at some point in the future we'll be able to have a look at any strategy that we set up here in terms of how this strategy performed, what was its largest winning trade, largest losing trade, the average winning trade, the average losing trade. All of those sorts of analytics will come in on each of these. So that's something that I'll be working on in the background. But yeah, so having that strategy there is good. But as I mentioned, in terms of TradingLounge, when we're putting out trades here, our trading strategies initially will simply be short-term, medium-term, and long-term. And that just keeps it quite simple at this point. Now, so that's the strategy here. So that's something that you can, add at this point. The watch list here is quite sort of simple. Now, we're also going to be building on this as well. So here you'll just see, if we're looking at FMG here, which is an open trade we've got at the moment. So you can look at it there, and you can also look at a more professional chart up here as well. Now, you can access this watch list chart from in the trade section as well, and we'll also be building on this here because it's quite simple at this point, but it's a start. Now, the other point here is the trade calculator here. So the trade calculator here it's quite important because it's really all about the position sizing here. It's one thing that traders tend to learn last, no matter what your strategy, being a technical person, technical analyst, or a fundamental analyst. We all tend to look at how we manage our money last, so to speak. So this is going to help with this a little bit. So in this case here, you can check on the whatever portfolio you're going to put the trade into. Select the stock here for that, whichever stock it is, right here. And then you put your entry price. your target price, and your stop loss price. And then you'll put in here your percentage, like 0.5 or 1% here, or it could be $200 here. And then what it will do is it'll tell you how many you can buy here. We're going to look at this in a little bit of a different way. There's another way to get to all of this here, and there's some other information down here that I won't go into that you can explore a little bit later on. Okay, so really this position size calculator is really just about working out how many you can buy for your risk. And this is really important. So this will depend where you have the entry price and the stop loss price, and how much capital you have will be a percentage of that particular capital. But with this here as well, once you've loaded this here, if you load the portfolio in here and select the stock here and the entry price and so on, you can just push this straight to that portfolio here. This portfolio here, you can push it straight to that from here. Okay, so you can just trade this trade from this calculator here. Now, what we'll do is we will also look at, and you can do an open trade here as well. So the trade calculator will end up pushing it to the open trade here. So this is the same situation here as well. So you've got the date, the portfolio that you're going to be using, the stock or share here, the strategy that I've been doing testing. Everybody's been doing testing here, so it's all different things here, but don't worry about that. You'll have your own here, and then you can push this. Once you've got all of this filled out here, you'll see all different types of things that you can do here, and then you can save this, and that will push it into that portfolio as well. Okay, so it's pretty sophisticated at this point, but you don't need to use all of that sophistication. Okay, but you can just push that into that particular trade. Now, to cut a long story short, what we've done here at the moment, we've just used the trade calculator and the open trade here. All right, but to be quick here, we set this portfolio up yesterday, this USA one here, and in the last video rather, and the amount here. So we've got that portfolio. We've got other portfolios there as well, but don't pay attention to any of these trades here. This is all just testing. Okay, so but anyway, this trade recommendation here, I've got this stock sitting in here. So it's a US stock. We'll have the Australian one here later on. We might add some European markets to this as well. So yeah, so this is a pending trade. This is a trade that TradingLounge, this is where we will be putting out our trades, and it'll have the direction of long or short. It will have the entry price, the stop loss price. In this case, it's a long way away from the entry price, and the target price is a long way. So this is a long-term trend here. So in this case here, when we put a trade out, we'll also put a chart here as well. This is just, it's not a really good setup or anything, but it'll just give you, I mean, I'm just talking about some volume here. The volume's confirming the trend in this case. The reason for taking this trade, though, is we've got this correction here as an A and a B and a C, which is very clear. So it means that this top should be taken out in due course. So MicroStrategy is built up on Bitcoin, so it's a good look for Bitcoin in that sense there. So it'll just give you some idea of, but we'll have the entry a bit clearer than that. Yeah, so that chart will be there. Then we've got the calculator and then the trade here. And then you've also got another chart here as well. You can look at this chart here, and you could look at, you know, the stocks, cash flow, or news, and all of balance sheet, income statement, all those sorts of things for here. Or you can go to the professional chart here and look at the professional chart and start using indicators and so on at that particular point. So, and then there's also the watch list here. So the watch list is here. That's added to the watch list, and the watch list will be just here. So it's just another, we already looked at the watch list on the front page. This is just another way to view this here, and you can also view the chart here. Just keep a bit of an idea. I haven't put any prices and things into any sort of analytics into this particular part yet, but we will build on this a little bit later. So back to the pending trades here, and the US trades here, the Australian trades here. When you take this trade here, push it through to we use the calculator first and then the trade here. then it will leave pending positions and it'll go into open positions. It will end up in this section here. Okay, so that's what we're going to do at the moment. When you're in this section here, what will happen over here is your portfolios will be here. So if you switch to this position here, open positions, and you've got different portfolios, make sure that you've got the right one sitting in here for this. Okay, so US1 here for that. So we'll go back to pending trades here for a moment. So what we can do here is we could bypass the calculator here and go straight to trades here. And what will happen here is it's populated here on the date. The stock, you choose a portfolio here. Long term, this is a strategy for long term here. This is the stock code here. It's already populated here as the entry price. The stop loss is already populated here. You can put in how many you want here at this particular point, and then you scroll down and then you enter save, put save in here, and then that will go into your portfolio. But what we're going to do first is we're going to use the calculator in this particular case. This will also populate as well here. It's got the stock code, the stop loss, the entry in here, and the target in here. So it's got those basic elements in here. So what we need to do here is choose the portfolio that we want to put it in. And then we want to risk, you can do it in percentage terms, you can risk, you can put it here, and you could risk whatever your risk is at that point. So 1% we're risking at this particular point in this here. So then that will populate here, and then we can just look at any other details here. Then we can just end up trading this trade here for this, and then it will populate over here into the open trade section, and you'll have this quantity of 1 here in this instance. And because the stop's quite wide, and that's all good. You don't need to do anything. You just look at what you need to look at this particular point, and then you can just hit save at this point. And once you hit save, the trade will be opened successfully. And it's just a way to track what you're doing at the moment. So it's disappeared from pending trades, and it will end up in open trades here on US1 here. So it's populating here now. So I need to shrink this text here so it all fits in properly. But so basically this is an open position now. And what will happen when we decide to change the stop here, for example, then what you're going to see over here, you'll end up seeing a little blue dot over here, and it'll have a comment here. And the comment could be, it could be add to position, it could be take part profit, it could be move stop. So if it's moves the stop, then we can just edit here and move the stop here to whatever that may be, and then save that at that point. So we've moved the stop at that point. Now, if we were going to take part profit on this, then it's already got a profit here, because this is put out, even though it was on the 4th of January here, this trade went out on the 11th or the 23rd of December, I think it was, or something. But the trade doesn't really sort of matter. But anyway, it's got a profit sitting there because from the entry price and so on. But if we were going to take part profit here, then we would do it through this little buy and sell here. So we would, whatever we're going to be taken off here, we would be buying it or selling it at this point. And when that happens, that will come up in the order history here. So in the order history here, it will come up with, you've added to the position, you've sold part of the position, all of that sort of thing. So that's it in a bit of a nutshell. That's how we would, how you can use this particular portfolio. Now, of course, you don't have to do any of this. You can just look at the pending positions here and look at the trade and take that straight to your trading platform. But I do think there is some value in terms of understanding what risk per trade that you're doing, what strategies that you're putting into place, and then we start to build up a case history of analytics on your trading performance. And then once we've got that data after, maybe 3-6 months, whatever the case may be, you'll start to build up this information. Then you can start improving your trades, and we'll hold webinars and um, videos about about looking at those figures and improving those figures and so on. But my strategy is that when we put a trade out, if we put a trade out, what I would like to do first is there's steps that we need to take. So the first step in my mind, if we're risking 1%, the first thing that I need to do is to halve that 1%. So I want to try to get that to 0.5%. It's never really 0.5%. It could be a bit less or it could be a little bit more. But simply by doing that step there, over the month, if I've had 10 losing trades, then really, because I've moved at 0.5% each time, very reasonably quickly within, for technical reasons, then I've halved my loss of 10 trades for that month down to 5 trades. So that's a huge step forward, So there's little steps like that, risking 1%, getting that to 0.5%, and then getting that to break even is the next step after that. And then you need the intestinal fortitude to allow the trade to run as well, depending on the particular strategy that you're using it. But we try to be as logical as we possibly can in an emotional sea of market activity to edge our way forward. And we want to build a case history of facts and figures that we can work with, so you can build on your own. You can, because one of the hardest things to do in life is to look at yourself and tell the truth about yourself and what you're doing. So looking at your own numbers, it will tell you, at face value, what's actually going on. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.